Hare Krishna, Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. Welcome you all to Gita again, daily Gita session. So, we'll be reciting one sloka every day. So, today we'll be discussing from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 8 to 12. So, it's a group of texts put together. So, we'll be discussing that. So, before that, let's take blessing of Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai. श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, पंचतत्व भगवान गौर निताय की जय, वामनदेव भगवान परशुराम भगवान की जय. So we'll begin with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyate Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We can go to the next slide, please. So, reading from chapter 13, Nature and Enjoyer and the Consciousness. So, let's read the sloka. Text 8 to 12. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam atma vinigraha indriyarteshu vairagyam ahankara evacha anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukha doshanudarshanam asaktir anabishvangah पुत्रधाराग्रहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेश सेवित्वम् अरातिर्जन संसदि अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वं तत्व ज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम एतत् ज्ञानम इति प्रोक्तम अज्ञानम यद अतो न्यथा. So can somebody please read the translation, please? Hare Krishna. Prabhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shall I read? Hare Krishna. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. Even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. So now, if you have a look the previous verses, so this chapter begins with Arjuna's question that Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna, what is Kshetra? The Kshetrajna. Kshetra is the field of activity. What is the field of activity? And Kshetrajna is the knower of the field of activity. So Kshetrajna. What is a Kshetra? He was asking about Kshetra, then Kshetrajna. So we can stop sharing screen, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. So Kshetrajna. Then Prakriti. What is the nature? Tell me about the nature and the enjoyer of the nature. That is a Purusha, the person who enjoys the nature. Prakriti, Purusha. Then Jnana and Jnayam. So Jnana is the knowledge, and the Jnayam, the object of knowledge, subject. What is the real knowledge and what should be dealing with? So that's a Jnana and Jnayam. So he asked these 6 questions. So from the second verse itself, Lord is answering. So what is a body? What is Kshetra? Kshetra is the field of activity, that is a body. So is this. And Kshetrajna, the knower of the field of activities, that is the soul and the super soul. And he says, understanding all this is knowledge. So here in this, then the constituents, the 6 to 7, he says the constituents of this, the 24 elements which the Kshetra is made of. Then here he says about the knowledge. What is real knowledge? If you read the translation at the end, it is said, this I declare as to be knowledge, and whatever else is there, it is ignorance. So this is the real knowledge. So if we note, there are 20 points, 20 pointers there. So the Prabhupada clearly mentions that without one, all the remaining 90 are useless. So if we may have all the remaining 19, if we see most of these are like qualities, so good qualities. So we may have all other 19 qualities or characteristics, but one thing missing, then there is no point. And that one thing is the 16th point, that is constant and unalloyed devotion to me. So, how much ever knowledge we have, how much ever intelligent, educated we are, anything for that matter, whatever we have or whatever we are, it's useless unless we connect with the Lord. So, whatever good fortune, whatever we have, it should all be used in the service of the Lord. Our intelligence, mind, intelligence, this body, everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. It should be completely engaged in the unalloyed devotion to Lord. If we take to that point, all other good qualities, all other characteristics, everything follows. So, for specific things, we may go to specific demigods asking for this, asking for that. Please give me this wealth. Please give me this knowledge. We may ask different. We may have desires, and we may go to different demigods. But just worship the Lord, and automatically all other departments. If I want something, imagine just for example, I am in a college and I want something. So I'll go to one department, one teacher, and try to please the teacher. Then teacher says, okay, go to the HOD. Then HOD says, okay, go to principal. Then CEO, like that. It goes on the ladder. Just imagine if I directly know the chairman, so that is a added bonus for me. So I speak to the chairman and I use his name. So everything else takes place automatically. So everyone is like, okay, he's the chairman's person. So that respect will be there, and whatever, I can be like a hero in the college. So like that, if I serve the Lord and please the Lord, then automatically all other departments will be pleased. So Srila Prabhupada mentions here clearly that if one accepts this process, that is a devotional service, real process of knowledge. This process, we understand this knowledge, this 20 elements, the ultimate elements, understanding all this matter of knowledge, the 20 pointers is to understand Krishna, come to that ultimate conclusion. This is not the interaction. The previous one is about body, that the constituents of the body, the 24 elements of the Kshetra, field of activity. But the next point of this 20 things, we should not consider it as an interaction of the body. It's the ultimate knowledge we should have. So first starting with humility. So if we see each point, we go in detail. It's there are 5 verses. It's very long. So we'll just quickly touch upon the 4 points. The first is humility. The first point mentioned is humility. So in humility, we should be very humble. The first this thing in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayers, this thing we say, no? We should be tolerant. That also comes in the next point. So you should be humble, that anybody respects me or not, nothing. I don't care. I just have to serve. I just have to always be engaged in the service, whatever my authority is giving, whatever my teacher or my mentor, guide, counselor, or the temple president, or the authorities, whoever is giving, I just have to follow that. Whatever service is being given, I have to just follow it. Whether I get some respect out of it, somebody praises me or somebody insults me, I just should not be bothered. I just have to be doing the service to Srila Prabhupada, to the acharyas, to the parampara. I should just be serving. So there comes the humility. It's the first quality of a devotee, that should be very humble. So when naturally when we get some wealth or position or name, fame, we get carried away. That should not be the case. If we are humble, we can easily progress. So that is about humility, and then pridelessness. So whatever we have, we should accept it as a mercy of the Lord. We should not be too proud of it. In connection of this, we have further we have that about false ego also, that we should have the real ego, that is the identity. We have to have the real ID. that okay, I am part and parcel of the Lord. I am a soul. I am a part and parcel of the Lord and the servant of the Lord. So I should be serving Him. So that's a real identity. The false identity, false ego comes in when I say everything is mine. Okay, everybody should listen to me. Whoever is in my family, whoever is in my friend circle, whoever is in my company, whomever I'm leading or whatever. So they should all be listening to me. Everything should work according to me. That should not be the case. If that is the case, that is false ego. That me. I. So aham. So say aham. Should not be aham. Should be Krishna. So everything should be Krishna centric. Then there's non-violence. So non-violence is a very important point here. Srila Prabhupada mentioned. Non-violence is not just cutting or killing or harming people, hurting people or anything, but it also means the non-violence which we commit to the others. That is, we are not giving this real knowledge to others. So the point of preaching comes there. So who are bereft of this knowledge, we have to share this knowledge. So there, that is a proper this thing. Otherwise, we are committing violence to others. That we are not sharing this knowledge. People are suffering so badly in this world, and we are not helping them. That also is a violence. So we should be non-violent. That we should be engaged in preaching. Whatever little knowledge we get, we should share it with others. In our own sphere of influence, we can share this knowledge. And then simplicity, tolerance. So tolerance is whatever somebody beats me, somebody gives me anything nice, or somebody takes away something from me. It should be very tolerant. And simplicity, it should be very simple thing, not too complex. It should be the should be straightforward without any duplicity that is there. Then approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So this is the second. The first point is the topmost point out of this 20 elements. Is the first one is unalloyed devotion to the Lord, and second is the approaching a spiritual master. So to approach a spiritual master. So when we approach a spiritual master, we can know about Krishna. So we can always be engaged in the service of the Lord by the mercy of Guru and the sadhus. So that is a very important point of approaching a bona fide spiritual master. Then there is point of cleanliness, swachhata. So in the four pillars of dharma, so that is the satyam, truthfulness, cleanliness, saucham, tapa, austerity, and cleanliness. What did I miss? Four pillars: truthfulness, cleanliness, daya, mercy. So the mercy is that. So that in non-violence we cover, and cleanliness. So cleanliness is outward cleanliness is always there. That we have to take bath, we have to be clean, and internal cleanliness also there. That the thought process should be clean, everything should be clean. So you should always be engaged. So Srila Prabhupada clearly mentions here that you should always be engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is a cleanliness. Then steadiness should be determined. Should be determined. Whatever I do, I have to constantly do it, keep doing it. Should not break it. I should keep doing it. That steadiness should be there. Dridhata. Steadily I have to do things. And self-control, that we have to refrain. Okay, whatever takes me close to the Lord, I accept. Whatever takes me away from the Lord, I reject. So that is there. Then renunciation of the objects of sense gratification. So here Srila Prabhupada clearly mentions that we have to meet the needs of the senses to keep this body fit so that we can engage in the service of the Lord. That much we accept. But not the need. We just take care of the need and not the greed. Then comes absence of false ego. Then the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease. We have to understand that this birth, death, old age, and disease is a problem. So this is a real problem. So that we have to understand. Then non-attachment to children, wife, home, and rest. So there, this point is very tricky here. That okay, we become a devotee and we leave everything. So that we centralize Krishna in our life. That everyone, the family as a whole, the parents, the children, everyone serve the Lord. So that is, it's a Krishna-centric family. So you have to aim to that. And when that happens, everyone together serve the Lord. So it says, the family that prays together, stays together. So when we serve together, we, as a whole, we serve the Lord together, engage in the service of the Lord as per the orders of the spiritual master. There we can all stay together. Otherwise, issues happen. Then there's even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant things. So whether it's good, whether it's bad, so the duality, opposites. It's always there. So sometimes good, sometimes bad. Means the change of climate also sometimes summer, winter, summer season, winter season. So whatever it is should not be affected. We should always be steady. So even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events. Whether I'm very happy, I'll chant 16 also. I'm sad today, I'll not even chant. It should not be the case. We have to be, we should not get disturbed by the dualities of the material world. Then we had constant and unalloyed devotion to me, Krishna. That's a main important point. The 16th point out of this 20 pointers. That is devotion to Lord Krishna. That's the ultimate object of knowledge. And then resorting to solitary places. So when we, it's not that, okay, we give up everything. I go to, like Arjuna said that I'll go to the Himalayas and meditate. But Lord said, you do your duty. Surrender to me and do your duty as an offering to me, just as a service to the Lord. That way, solitary places, we can, there is this point. One may test himself by seeing how far he is inclined to live in a solitary place without unwanted association. So we should not take unwanted association, but we should have we should take devotee association. We should not just run away that I'll stay in a secluded place. We should stay with the devotees. And then when we stay with the devotees, when we engage in the service of the Lord along with the devotees, and the ego clashes and all that happens. And then there is diamond. So two diamonds cut each other, and then that becomes polished and becomes more beautiful. Like that, when we engage in the service of the Lord along with devotees, it makes us progress further easily. Otherwise, we are doing alone. Sometimes we may get carried away. So this point should not be misunderstood. Then there's detachment from the general mass of people. It is we should preach, but when we when you preach to the preach to everyone, but we should be careful that in the way of preaching we pull people so much that sometimes we forget that we are getting pulled in the opposite direction. So we should always have the association of devotees, but should not mean that okay, I should stay in the devotee association here, so I'll not go out and preach. You have to preach, but you should be careful. You should take the proper guidance. And then accepting the importance of self-realization, the main point, the real identity that I am the soul, I'm not the body, so I'm the servant of the Lord. That self-realization should come. Then the philosophical search of the absolute truth, that inquisitiveness to know more about the Lord that comes. So as I repeat again, so this 20 pointers, this Lord says, all these I declare to be knowledge, and what is contrary to this is ignorance. So this is real knowledge, and whatever else is there, that is just ignorance. So to accept that. So first stage is we have to approach a spiritual master, and by his mercy, by staying in the association of devotees and constantly engage in the service, we will come to the stage that unalloyed devotional service. Initially, we may not have that. We have some desire, some this, that. But somehow, because the authorities are saying, I'm trying to engage in the service. Eventually, when we continue that in the association of devotees and reading, hearing, so when you do that constantly, reading Bhagavad Gita and hearing the lectures, hearing about Krishna from senior authorities, devotees. So eventually what happens, we shall come to the stage of unalloyed devotion. That's the ultimate stage. So that is understanding the Lord, understanding Lord Krishna. That's a very important point. And last, there is a, which was that verse quoted? Yes. Huh. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam. Those who are actually knowers of the absolute truth know that the self is realized in three different phases of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the last word in realization of the absolute truth. So we eventually, first we start with serving the Lord. Whether we know or not, we just engage in the service, and eventually we'll come to the ultimate conclusion that we'll get the knowledge. The Lord will give us He will reveal Himself to us. That when we follow the process, should never get deviated from the process. We should always be engaged in the service of the Lord, in the association of devotees, and we keep faith in the process. So this process will take us back to Godhead if we follow it strictly. Srila Prabhupada, we follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas. So thank you, Prabhu Mataji, for your daily joining. That's inspiring all of us. So let's chant one time. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Smarties, please unmute. Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Rama
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 Hare
Rama